What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. It is Thursday, and just like every other Thursday, we're about to talk money and ways that you can make it. Now, I have a very special business for this week. It's one that's close to heart. Some of you all may already know what I'm about to say, but without further ado, let's go ahead and get to today's video. Since I created the last videos, I've been receiving tons of questions. Should I list my car on Turo? Is that the right, or the best move for me to do? It's hard to be able to answer that question with just one answer because it honestly depends on a lot of different factors. So what I'm going to do with this video is actually just go through a few questions that you can ask yourself to be able to help you get to that right answer of if Turo is the right business for you. Is your car eligible? I talked about in my previous video the different factors that Turo has for listing cars on the platform. You just can't list any type of car on there. Now, I know a lot of people might get upset about that, but think about it from the Turo perspective. If you were a renter and you're going to go on Turo to rent a car, you don't want to get a beat up or a broken down car. So I believe it's about 130,000 miles where they set a limit at, as well as your car can't have a salvage title. And this is just to ensure the quality, the standard is at a certain threshold so that the reputation of Turo can be uplifting and not something where your friends say, oh, that's where a whole bunch of, shitty, excuse my language, cars are. If you made it past that first question and you're still in the running, the second question that I have for you is, can you handle business risk? I'm not saying high levels of risk. I'm just saying, can you handle any level of risk? Because if you're the type of person where you're concerned of any worst case scenario that might happen, like if you're like, what happens if someone gets my car and they crash it? Or what happens if, in the event someone doesn't bring my car back? Guys, I want to say that's why they have insurance for those reasons, to be able to handle anything of those concerns. And Turo has insurance that you can also purchase from them for a percentage of your profits. Guys, if you crash your car, what would you do in that situation? You would call insurance, you would get them to fix it. There's risk with every single business. Unfortunately, there's not a way to get around that. I actually have to go wash my car now for another booking tomorrow. I'm gonna go ahead and take you along the ride, show you the process behind the scenes of what goes down. And this brings me to my next question. Who's gonna operate your Turo business? Do you have the time to operate it? Is it gonna be your mom, brother, sister, daddy, uncle? It needs to be somebody there to check in the vehicle as well as inspect the vehicle once it comes back. You're also gonna 9 times out of 10 have to get the vehicle washed, cleaned, vacuumed out inside. So this is just something else to think about when you're considering if you have the time for Turo, because as any business, it does require time and discipline to be able to succeed on the platform. All right, so my next question is, what are your business goals? Like, before you just say make money, because obviously I know you're doing it to make money. Like, are you doing it for a car payment, side income, primary source of income? These things matter because it determines the level of profitability that you need. If you're just doing it to hit a car payment, then theoretically, as long as you break even, you've hit your goal. But if you're doing this for side income or for primary income, now you need a threshold above just that car payment and the insurance payment. Now you actually need to make a certain amount of money to be able to live, and that is another variable to factor into the equation when deciding if this platform is for you. Just washed the car. By the way, guys, I don't go to a fancy car wash. I go to a place where I can drive in and be able to do the vacuuming and everything myself. I'm considering switching over to AutoBell. I believe they do it where they wipe it down and they clean it out for you. The only trade-off though is that then you have to wait for them to do it, and they may not do it right, and then that's also time. Like, sometimes if the car is already clean, I might just drive it through, do a quick vacuum and wipe down, and I'm on my way. And I think I might lose out on that privilege if I go to someone that does a full wipe down. But the benefit is that you don't have to do it yourself. So these are just a couple of things to think about when you're getting into the business. And if you are getting into the business, you will definitely need a car wash. I recommend you go to a place that has an unlimited membership for a decent price. That way you can have your car looking sparkling, nice, and always new. My next question is, how often do you need to drive this car? If you need to drive this car every day to go to work, then I think it's a no-brainer that this is not the platform for you. This is not the service that you should be using. If you need your car on the weekends, I don't think this is a platform for you because it's a good amount of trips that are booked on the weekends. Put it like this, I work from home, so I'm able to rent out my car during the week and as well as on the weekend. And then if I do need a car, I use my girlfriend's car. And that's actually why I bought a second car, because I had a theory where, you know, both cars probably won't be rented at the same time. Unfortunately, that theory fell through like on the third day that I bought the second car because they were both gone for literally the entire month. Now I'm back to the decision of trying to decide if I want to get a third car, and I'm running into an issue, which is going to completely get us to the next question of where are you going to park these cars at? Like, if you do want to expand and you do want to grow that business to be a primary source of income, do you have the space and the availability to do that? Do you have the resources to do that? I'm saying, do you have the capital to be able to buy new cars if you want to make this like a primary source of income, or actually good income coming in a month? And do you have the credit score? Because if you don't have the credit score to be able to get these additional vehicles or leases or whatever it may be, then this might not be the right platform for you. Back at La Casa, I know you're ready for the next question. How much can you make in your market? Basically, this is a pretty simple exercise to do, guys. Get on Turo, go to your market, put in dates probably 2 to 3 months out. That way you're able to see the full variety of cars, and then look for a similar car to yours. Look for if it's either the same make, the same model, same year, whatever it may be. If it's a sedan, it's SUV, just get a gauge for what price range could you possibly offer, and that's going to let you know the potential profitability depending on the number of days you have available to rent the car of how much you can make. Now also discount that by, let's say, 70%, because Turo is going to take about 30% for insurance, assuming that you have the 70% plan. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, guys, go back and watch my previous video for the ultimate guide to Turo, and I discussed the different insurance plans that Turo has. But essentially, by knowing that level of profitability and knowing if it's profitable, that'll let you know if it's worth it to do it or not. Because if you can't meet that car payment, or if you aren't reaching the certain threshold of profitability that you want to be at in order to do the venture, then Turo isn't the right platform for you. Lastly, guys, are the numbers profitable? What's your break-even rate? You can find that by taking your car payment plus your insurance, divide that by the daily average rate that you think you might be able to get for your car. That lets you know how many days you will need to be able to rent that car. Now, this goes back to earlier when I said how many days can you rent the car for, because if that number of days that you need to rent the car for to make that car payment, if it exceeds the number of days that you're able to rent the car for, then once again, this might not be the platform for you depending on your goals. So I hope you guys found this video helpful. I'm going to make more videos on Turo in the future. April 15th, your boy becomes an all-star host. So I think once I reach that status, I'm going to do another Turo update of the tips and tricks that I've learned over the past few months to, you know, make your listing the best it can be. There are a few updates that I do need to tweak that I've made since the last video. So until the next video that I make, or the next video you watch, guys, catch life.
Hey, Bill, I'm in the mood for a switch up. I hit the function, hit the rose till I hiccup. I hit the stage and leave with money that's a stick up.